Yo, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It's Akili G, and I'm back again. We haven't spoken about the NBA in a while. You know why? It's just because there's been so much stuff going on with football. I have been unable to keep track of what everything that's going on in the NBA. But you know what? I just got an ode to the guys. First of all, you guys know that we're Toronto Raptors fans, right? So we're going to first talk about the Raptors. But before we get started, I just want to give a quick shout out to the man, the myth, the legend, the man himself, Norman Powell. Let's get started. It hurts, guys. It hurts. Norman Powell, man. I've seen this guy grow up his whole time in the NBA. He came to us, was honestly, I didn't think much of him. And then you know what? He turned out to be a crucial player in the NBA championship season. You know what? Now we've lost three guys from that key team, plus the man himself, Kawhi Leonard. What are we going to do, guys? Things aren't going to be the same, obviously. We know how it's going to be. We've gone from a team that's won a championship to now being the team that's struggling. And you know what? Yes, we got Gary Trent Jr. We're going to talk about everything in the transfer window. I mean, why is he transfer window? Trade deadline. We're going to talk about how Kyle Lowry still stayed. The Toronto man himself still here. Thank God. Right? And you know what? A couple other guys got traded too. So we're going to talk about that. But yeah, the main thing I want to talk about is the man himself, Norman Powell. And we're going to get into the rest of the trade deadline. But yeah, let's get through it. I got two guys with me. I got Slens and I got Cam. Big up to them. And let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Bang. But yo, man, that was just a little bit emotional right there. I don't know why. But yeah.
Honestly, if I'm going to be real with you, unpopular opinion, I've never been a huge Norm fan. I respect what he's done for the team, and I thought he was key in the run, and playoff Norm's a thing. But like, I always knew he was going to get moved in this window. Like, this trade deadline, I was always expecting him to go, despite how well he was playing, because Masai's never going to keep a player around at a price that's not acceptable to the team, and we know he's going to get like 85 over 4, and I don't think you'd want to pay him that at 28 with this squad. Like, if we were still contenders, sure, but with the current squad. But I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss him. You know, I like how he used to stick up for Fred and the boys and get in people's faces. You know.
Oh man, it's emotional, man. It's emotional. It is. It really is. Even though you don't think about it in that way, it kind of is emotional. Think about it. Like, just look at that picture that I put up a second ago with the people getting evaporated. You have Kyle Lowry, you have Fred VanVleet, you have OG, you have Pascal Siakam still there. Kawhi's gone. You have Norman Powell's gone. Gasol's gone, and Ibaka's gone. And when you think about it, we lost these three guys plus for nothing. Basically, a bag of peanuts.
Whoa. I agree with Gasol and Ibaka. We lost for nothing. Kawhi, we lost for nothing. I agree with that. But I will not let we're going to talk about that trade today and how good that trade was. We can talk about that.
We're going to talk about it. And we got Slens in the house. Slens, yo, who do you support? Let the people know who you support, bro.
Bro, the thing is, man, I'm a bit worried to tell you, man. Like, I don't want to say I'm a casual fan, but I'm just a fan of Kawhi. Do you know what I mean? So, right now I'm a Clippers fan. I'd say I'm a Clippers fan.
Okay, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with being a Clippers
fan. Man's not tying his hitch to the Clippers forever, though. He knows better.
Literally.
He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. But yo,
I can't trust him.
Where can we start? Is there somewhere where we can start? Let me guess. I think we should start is, let's start with Orlando. Orlando blew everything up. Everything got blown up in Orlando. Vuk is gone. Big Vuk is gone to Chicago. You got my guy going to the Celtics. You got everything going every single direction. So the only place where we can start is with that team, Orlando Magic. And the first trade I want to talk about is the most impactful one. Big man, the all-star, the center, Vucevic to the Chicago Bulls. What we saying, guys? Is that a good deal? Is that a bad deal? You guys, how you guys feeling?
I was caught off guard. If I'm gonna be honest, I heard Vuce was kind of on I heard he was potentially on. What am I trying to say here? I heard dude was on the trade block, but I didn't believe it. Right? And when I heard that, I'm like, okay, cool, makes some sense. He's on the trade block. I get it. You don't necessarily Need Vucevic if you're Orlando at this stage. He's not a guy you can build a full team around because he's limited. Like on the defensive end, he's a great rebounder, but it's because of size, so he's not super athletic. So I get why they did it, but to the Bulls, shocked me. This is kind of a statement of intent from the Bulls saying like, we're at least going to try and get into the play-in. Like they just don't want to miss the playoffs anymore. And clearly they're just trying to send a message to Levine. So good deal. I mean, 2 first-round picks, especially because the Bulls is probably going to be bad. Pretty good haul from Orlando. They're going to build around Isaac. It's not bad. I give it like a B+. Like
for fantasy guys, go pick up Otto Porter right now.
He's going to get bought out.
What do you mean he's going to get bought out?
He's going to get bought out. There's no way he play. I guarantee you he does not play for Orlando. They're going to buy him out.
No. He's going to literally carry them for the remainder of the season. They need somebody to carry them for the remainder of the season. And he's just going to pick up numbers.
It's going to be
Is he not playing for a contract?
No, I think he got paid, man. He got a stupid contract. His last contract was ridiculous. Like he's happy. He's fine. He's like one of the most overpaid players in the league. Maybe the most. Like,
so what did they give up? They gave up they got Otto Porter, a first round pick, and Wendell Carter for
two first rounds, yeah.
For Al-Farouq Aminu. Yeah, I'm gonna put it on the screen right now so you guys can actually see it. My guy's talking about the Nets. Relax with your Nets agenda, bro. Relax with the Nets agenda. The Raptors had the worst trade deadline ever. Come on, you could have a worse trade deadline. That's not actually.
The Raptors had the worst trade deadline ever. Who said that? I can't see the chat. So
what? You can't see the chat? The guy said that in the chat right now.
Yeah, you can't see it. Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason I can't see it.
Let me put it up. This guy said, Alex said, worst deadline ever.
Yo, I'll address that. We had a great deadline. I will address that after. We had a great deadline.
Yeah. So should we go in chronicle order and what?
Let's just go in order. Yeah.
Okay, let's get back.
Can I just say one thing about the Bulls trade, man? You know what it is? I'm happy for Zach, man. Like he's been carrying that team when he was back. He needed someone else. That another All-Star is going to be big for him. I want to see him with another star. See what he does. It's massive for him. I even thought Lonzo Ball might be a shot for them as well, but it never happened.
Yeah, there's Lou Will to Atlanta going home.
I actually expected. You're right. I expected Markkanen to be moved instantly. I thought he was going to move for Lonzo Ball. And they're going to figure out something. And then when he didn't, I was just thinking, I guess they're going to try out this.
This is the first trade that Bleacher Report mentioned after the trade. JJ Redick to Dallas. What are we thinking about JJ Redick to Dallas?
Oh, it's Len. You go.
You know what? What I'll say is, listen, Seth Curry left them, right? And they've been missing that 3-and-D guy. I'd say JJ. I think it makes sense for them, man. It makes sense. Like I'm pretty sure they're in pursuit of a 3-and-D guy. And listen, on his day, he hasn't been great this season, but on his day, he can be a great 3-point shooter. So it kind of makes sense to me.
Dallas needs. They miss Seth Curry. You mean not Steph Curry, by the way? But yeah.
No, I said Steph Curry. Yeah, I said yeah.
Oh no. Okay, yeah. So they missed the Curry brother, and you know what? Why not replace him with this guy? And you know what he said to the Pelicans? You guys don't break my record. Last year, they broke his record of playoff streaks. So he's back in a playoff team this year, hopefully.
Exactly. That's exactly. This man refuses to miss the playoffs. And, like, I agree with the move. It's cool. He's going to the right spot. Yeah, Windhorst is kind of a fraud. He's going to the right spot, man. So I'm happy for him in that sense. He's going to get to play in the playoffs again. And he's a good guy. He's one of those dudes who genuinely, like, you root for JJ Redick.
Yeah.
But he's not good on defense. He's just out there to shoot. Just get the shots up.
Okay, enough said. So now the trade itself is straightforward, nothing ridiculous. You got JJ Redick and Millie going for Josh Smith, James Johnson, I mean, and why did I say Josh Smith? I'm thinking about fantasy too much, guys. And then Wes, he was a monster in fantasy, by the way. And then a 2nd-round pick. Overall, they gave it a B on Bleacher Report. I don't think it deserves that big of a validation with the B. That's being generous. I
think the reason why I think it's fine is because like both teams got what they needed. Like no team lost that deal, and no team had to give up a lot, in my opinion. That's why I think it was a good deal.
Yeah.
Next deal on the docket. Oladipo. We all knew Oladipo was headed out of that club. We all knew Oladipo was on his way out. He was always on his way out. Let's be real. Oladipo was never staying. And it's funny that they got Marcus Smart guarding him because Oladipo is the opposite of Marcus Smart. He's more lets his offense speak than his defense. But what do you guys think overall?
Deep this.
Can I ask you guys something before you go? Can I ask you guys something? Do you guys think that they decided to go with him instead of Cal, or do you think Cal actually didn't go for the Heat? What do you think actually happened there?
When we get there,
Yeah.
I think they just didn't put the juice on the table, bro. They just didn't Masai
They
doesn't get
didn't
had.
want to give us Hero.
They wanted Hero, right? You guys wanted
That
Hero.
was it. When we don't play around, man.
We're no scrubs.
When you deep this deal right here, you have to think about the fact that let's get something straight. They had a chance to keep Karis LeVert or Allen in the deal that they traded Harden away. You go and trade LeVert for Victor Oladipo, and then you get absolutely nothing. Like listen, I don't think Depot's good. I think he's very average. I think he's super.
They got
overrated.
a first-round pick swap. That's all they got.
That's who cares?
Kelly Olynyk on Houston. You think he's gonna start?
No, he's not. Maybe, but I feel like Kelly Olynyk gets bought out. Like, where's he? Christian Wood's your power forward. They'll play Kelly Olynyk, I guess, at the C spot. Avery Bradley's not playing. Like, this deal is.
I dropped Kelly Olynyk in my fantasy.
Is this the worst run organization in NBA? Is this the worst run?
Houston.
I think.
No.
Yeah.
They are the worst
Sacramento's
owner. They have the worst
Sacramento's
owner. They have the worst owner. Their owner literally wrote a book about "Shut Up and Listen" or something like that. Like,
bro, imagine being John Wall. Yeah, imagine being John Wall. Yeah, you get traded to this team. Yeah, you came back from injury, and then you have to be the main guy now. Like, you have to do everything now. Like, who does he have? Who does he actually have?
He's
Christian Wood.
fraud,
Christian Wood is not. It's mad,
big fraud. Big fraud. He's being exposed. What is his name? Fatita? That's his name?
Yeah.
Fatita.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Fatita's
No,
a
hold
joke.
on. If we're gonna be John Wall asked for that trade though. Like,
Bro, they
John
gave it
Wall-
an A to the Heat.
Yes, because they didn't have to give up anything. They're just like, cool,
And
we
an
can try.
F to the Rockets. You know what? That's
Plus,
fitting.
bro,
That's fitting. F plus. F plus means it's nice. It should be F minus if that happens. Next trade. This one went under radar. Lou Will went to Atlanta. I think Atlanta have a situation already where we've spoken about it on pods before. Atlanta have a situation where they don't know who the main guy is. So putting Lou Will on that team where they already have a complex of nobody knows who the main guy is, and getting rid of Rondo. Did they get any better? They got an A from Bleacher Report, but what? Did they get better?
He hasn't been the same, man. He hasn't been the same in a while.
I don't know if they got better. I think they got rid of Rondo. Okay, let's just say this off the jump. Rondo has the best agent in the NBA, in my opinion. I'm just going to say this right now. This guy continuously gets these contracts from these teams that he's not going to show up for. You don't want to be in Atlanta. Like, we knew this. In the end of the year, people were talking about him going back to the Lakers to win or going to the Clippers to be still on a contender, other contenders, but nobody was going to pay him. So in come the Hawks. His agent goes, yo, Rondo would be good for your locker room. Good to have a veteran. You guys want to push for the playoffs, sign Rondo. Rondo's injured all year. Deadline comes along. Obviously, Rondo's done nothing. Now he's making more money than the Hawks are happy to pay. Clippers sitting there being like, we got assets. Here, we'll take his contract. Lou Will's an expiring contract. So now Rondo gets paid and he gets sent to a contender. Didn't even have to play for the Hawks. Great agent. Did the Hawks get better?
But I like the deal for the Clippers though, because we needed a point guard. And listen, in the playoffs, we know what he is, right? We know what he is. Last year's player. Come on, you don't think? Listen, playoff Rondo is actually a thing, man. It's actually a thing. Like, last year we saw it. Yeah, last year he was Lakers' third best player in the playoffs for me personally. When I was watching it, he was. Listen, there was moments where he just took over, man. That's just what he does.
It would be real fun.
Do you know what I mean? I think we needed him.
Knocks the Lakers out this year. If he that'd be poetic.
I'm happy with it, man.
It's a good deal, but I if I'm gonna be honest, I don't think.
I'm sorry. The ring light messed it up. My bad, guys.
If I'm being honest, I just don't know if I.
Continue.
Yeah, if I still don't think the Clippers are going to be in the conversation. And yes, I see Samuel saying salty Raptors fans. Yeah.
They gave it as
Clippers.
D to the Clippers.
Straight up.
Yeah, they gave up too much. They gave up too much. They gave up too much for Rondo, man.
They gave up a lot.
But
Rondo's
they won that
contract.
championship. Do you know what I mean? They won that chip, man. They put in all
No,
the eggs on that
Clippers
basket.
get a D just because they gave that much money to Luke Kennard and they don't even play him.
Yeah, I don't get that
What
as
a
well, man.
bad deal.
Okay, Daniel Gafford to Washington.
We can skip this one.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say Daniel Gafford to Washington. Washington, this deal made a lot of sense for one team only. Boston. Look at what Boston did. They got rid of they used their cash exception to get what's his name?
Luke
Wagner.
Fournette and Wagner.
Wagner is better, in my opinion, than what their
Mo
current
Wagner.
situation. Their current situation with Tristan and Tice made no sense.
Well, Tice isn't good. Tice
he's
is just
not.
Although he did destroy
jumps
us.
around.
He destroyed us in the Raptors playoffs.
The only thing he's done this year is he's improved his 3-point shooting this year and slightly. That's all he's done this year.
You don't
bro.
want him shooting threes.
Exactly, bro.
Exactly. When you say he's improved his 3-point shooting, like I don't want Daniel Tice taking threes.
Yeah. Okay, so we can just skip by this, but they gave Celtics a B. They gave Celtics a B minus, which is decent. They gave Bulls an A, by the way, because they did get some decent pieces.
To be honest, Gafford's not a bad player though.
And the Wizards A minus. This one here, I love Bjelica. Don't get me wrong. Bjelica is a big upgrade on what's his name? Kelly Olynyk. Is he going to start though? Is that the question?
Probably. He has to. Like you have Bam, who's the 4. It's gonna be Bjelica. His value in fantasy might shoot back up now. To be honest,
I'm gonna monitor him. You're telling me drop Otto Porter, pick up Bjelica. That sounds
yes. I would 100%. That's what I would do. So far, I've given you good advice too.
Yeah, I still have what's his name? Barry guys. But yo, my people from my fantasy league are probably watching this right now, so they're like, yo, keep it. Anyway,
give it some good advice. Man.
Giving good advice.
Bobby Portis was good, man. I told you. Remember, you're like, I was like, if he's on the waiver, he's not a waiver player.
This was the deal that made sure Kyle Lowry didn't go to Philly because once they got George Hill, they got their point guard.
So this is what I want to talk about with you guys. If you're a Philadelphia fan, like for real, if you're a Philly fan, and you know that Kyle Lowry's available, like you know you can get him.
They don't value him.
You seeing this deal.
They don't value him. They don't value him. They don't give a shit about Kyle Lowry.
I'd be so cheesed.
No, listen, people in Toronto understand Kyle Lowry's value. People outside of Toronto don't generally understand his value.
Cheesed.
That's what I think. That's what I think it is.
Like again, it's a championship thing, right? And then obviously Kyle Lowry would have made a lot more sense for them. That's what I'm saying. I'd feel annoyed, man. Especially ended up with George Hill. He isn't a bad player, obviously, but
yeah, Nemanja Bjelica is injured. Available. What are you guys talking about?
What?
He's injured, short-term injury. How is he even getting traded when he's injured?
George Hill. It's because it's not okay. It's one of those injuries where you got he had like a thumb surgery. He just got his cast off. Like he medically he's like passed. Like he'll be able to play. So you can trade him. You can only not trade him if he was like not medically fit to play.
What about Aldridge going to Miami? I'm hearing that's mad.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till that happens because like anything can happen in the buyout market. But if that happens, then they've done well because that's Victor Oladipo and Aldridge for nothing.
Yeah,
Pat Riley.
That's Pat Riley, man. Yeah, exactly.
If Miami wins the East again, I bet you anything, Daniel's going to be on our case on Twitter. Oh man, it's going to be.
Yeah,
bad.
They're
not going to win, are they? I don't see it happening.
No,
I could probably see Daniel watching this right now. If you're watching this, let me know.
Brooklyn Brooklyn.
Let's get back to this. They disrespected the Raptors, but we're going to get into the Raptors in a second. This guy right here getting traded. We always knew it was going to happen. But what I don't get is why would they get rid of Ferguson? Don't you guys rate? Do you guys rate Ferguson? I rate him. He went to the Knicks. The Knicks got Ferguson for nothing.
The way I see it is they were looking for a veteran upgrade. They were looking for a guy who could shoot and can he's 3-and-D. He's a perfect example of a 3-and-D guy. He's not a creator as much, but he can handle the ball. So that's another guy who can handle, it's just another option. I hate this deal for them. I'm not going to lie. I hate it the only reason I hate it is because you could have had Kyle Lowry. but you were
Yeah.
like, we need to hold on to Maxey and Ty Buell. It's like, guys, you're trying to win now. By the time Maxey and Ty Buell are ready, like your window's closed.
Yeah, they're dumb.
That's
They're
facts.
dumb.
Yeah.
They even mentioned Kyle Lowry. But yeah,
it's like he's not Kyle Lowry, but he's still good.
No. Getting back to the sad part. Norman Powell, guys. Norman Powell's gone. Sadly. So Norman Powell for a sack of peanuts. That's what I think. But some people are saying Gary Trent Jr., Rodney Hood.
You're not feeling it. You're not feeling Gary Trent Jr.
No, I like Gary Trent Jr., but I'm saying Norman Powell to me was extremely valuable.
Yeah, he
extremely valuable.
Okay, let me break it down, Nigel. When Norman Powell was going on his 30-point runs and killing it for us, we weren't winning. There's a big flaw in Norman Powell's game that a lot of people don't pay attention to, and it's a real one. It's even though he's really efficient, he needs a lot of shots. He takes a lot of shots. He's very ball dominant, but he's not a closer. And part of it's to do with his size. It's the same with Fred VanVleet. He's only 6'3". Fred VanVleet's only like 6 foot. So we don't have size. You notice in the end of our games, we don't get calls. Our guys barely draw fouls at the end of the game, and it's because of size, realistically. He can't force the issue as much. And he's very dependent on a lot of shots, which cool if you're hitting. I get it. He's scoring 30 points, but we weren't winning. As soon as OG came back, look, we should have won that Jazz game. What happened to Denver last night? Our team needs a defensive stopper in the starting lineup and a guy who can come off the bench and light it up. Gary Trent Jr. is 22 years old. Norman Powell's 28. Gary Trent Jr. is a 40% three-point shooter. Norman Powell shot 41% this year. Sure, he's not as efficient from inside the arc, but like we're not asking Gary Trent to handle the ball, and like we want our other players getting involved. When Norman Powell's on the court, he was a black hole in a sense. Not in a battle, like he was still good, but nobody else was getting involved because he's just taking over the scoring. That dries up and nobody else has been involved. Nobody's in rhythm. So it killed our rhythm. It's a big flaw. So since we were never going to pay Norm Powell the 21.5 mil, remember I said this 85/4 is what he's probably going to get in free agency. There was no way we were paying that. You go and get a guy who gives you similar skill sets. He's bigger. He's 6'5", so he's a proper small forward size. He's a great defender, younger, on his rookie scale. The Raptors' cap hit went from 12 to 15 mil with Norm to 2.1 with Gary Trent. So now we can use the bird rights. We can go out. We'll have 20 million in cap space next year. We can use our bird rights to sign Gary Trent. We wouldn't have been able to do that with Norm. So we would have just lost Norm, 100% just gone if we signed somebody else. And we all know we need to sign a big man. And I want Rashawn Holmes. I'm saying that right now. Kyle Lowry is still on the team. We still own Kyle Lowry's bird rights. Next year, conceivably, we could re-sign Kyle Lowry, Gary Trent Jr., and add a big. And then all of a sudden, what? The Raptors are back to being a top 3 team in the East. And Lowry is still a piece you can trade because he'll sign like a 2-year deal. It's legit. This is what Masai does. We then also sent out our 2 other shooting guards to make sure Gary Trent gets the minutes. We sent out Matt Thomas, Terrence Davis for 2 second-round picks. Guess who got 2 second-round picks for Evan Fournier, Orlando? Matt Thomas and Terrence Davis had played like 10 minutes combined this year, and they got 2 second-round picks for him, and they got Gary Trent Jr. This was a great window for the Raptors. Kyle Lowry staying is not a bad thing, guys. Like, we can re-sign him. He doesn't want to leave. So if he doesn't want to leave, like, that's a good thing for our franchise. We're used to having guys be like, trade me. I want to go to a winner. I don't want to be here. Kyle Lowry was like, yo, I'm good. Like, that's why we didn't move him. Also, nobody had the juice. Miami wasn't going to give us Hero. So cool, we're done. We know Masai moves. This is how he moves. He tells you the price, and you either pay up or it doesn't, or that's it. He moves on. He told Philly the price. Maxey, Ty Buell, 2 firsts. They said no. He's like, cool. I'm keeping Kyle. And now both those teams in the playoffs are going to wish they had Kyle Lowry. I guarantee it. Both those teams, when it comes down to it, they're going to be like, 6. So we got here.
Why did he sell his house then?
His explanation was pretty good, actually. He was like, it's literally just sitting there empty. He's like, why would he's like, I can buy a new house. He's like, I'm not in Canada for like, and he knew he might get traded. Oh, Baz, don't get me wrong. Lowry was on the block. Lowry knew he might get traded.
He was in tears, wasn't he? he was in tears on his like walking out the arena last time. He was in tears, so
he was okay with being traded. Just because you're okay with being traded doesn't mean you want out. It just means you've had a conversation. Our organization's run properly, yo. So like we talk to players and we're like, listen, you might get traded. And he was like, cool. If it works for you, it works for me.
My verdict, we could have gotten more from Norman Powell.
Really?
But Sacramento didn't want to give us Rashawn Holmes. And they ended up holding on to Rashawn Holmes and Hassan Whiteside for the rest of the season. And I don't think Hassan Whiteside's going to get as much PT as Rashawn Holmes if Rashawn Holmes left. But I don't know what Sacramento's doing. Let's be real. What are they doing? And I would have gone and tried to use Norman Powell in a piece to get a big man. But Gary Trent Jr., is he a long-term solution? Possibly.
For a six man? Could be. 6 man.
Is he a young player growing? No, he's been in the league for a while now.
I think 3 years.
He's been in the league for 3 years. Okay. He's not on a rookie contract still.
He is. This is the last year of his rookie skill contract. That's what people don't get. He stayed in college until he was 19. He got drafted like late first round.
Age is fooling me. So yeah, he is still in his rookie contract because I was talking to someone earlier today. They told me he's not on his rookie contract.
No, he's 22.
Okay, so he's still on his rookie contract. This is the last year of his rookie contract, so he's going to be. So we can either re-sign him or let him walk.
But he'll be a restricted free agent, dude. So instead, and his cap hold is only 2.1 mil. Think about the difference. Norm Powell was unrestricted. So like, somebody puts 20 million on the table, we're like, cool, we can't even pay you that, so you can go.
Okay, I'm giving an overall to Portland. I'm giving Portland a B. I'm giving the Raptors a C.
Nah, B. This was an A. For Portland, it's a B. For the Raptors, this is an A deal.
Slens?
I'd agree with Khan.
Okay, let's see who's right. So I gave Portland. Oh, they gave Portland a C. We all gave them B's, right? And they gave the Raptors an A. Oh, they gave Raptors an A.
Okay, it all comes down to free agency.
C's a bit harsh for.
Okay, so time to talk about Denver. This man said, "I want to get the hell out of here."
different approach than what Lowry did, by the way. Different.
Yeah, he said, "I want to." He put in a trade request, and you know what? Denver said, "You know what? We can't just hold on to assets forever and not get nothing in return. This time, we're going to try to get something." And personally, Aaron Gordon does not make them that much better. They were better off to hold on to Jeremy Grant.
I agree with that. That I agree with. I thought you were going to say Gary Harris. I'm like, Gary Harris is trash. I agree with that statement. You're right. They should have held on to Jeremy Grant. I agree with that.
Yeah, but let's talk about the actual trade itself. So Aaron Gordon and Gary Clark go for Gary Harris, RJ Hampton, a first round pick in 2025 and 2027, top 5 pick protected. So are we saying overall good trade for Denver? Because I think I've
got a question for you guys. Would you guys consider the Nuggets free? Is that a big free for you guys?
I think Gary Harris wasn't playing enough to impact them offensively. Defensively, he was playing a lot and putting in a lot of work as an extra body defending guards. But is Gordon going to come in and be a defensive opportunity? Is he going to be a good player offensively and defensively for them? Or is he just going to be another body that they feel like is a valuable piece going forward? I don't know what they think this is, but to me, it makes no sense. If they were going to get rid of Gary Harris, they should have gotten somebody, I don't know, like someone better offensively that could also contribute defensively, because the drop off in their guards now from Gary Harris to the next best second guard, I don't think it's good enough. What do you think?
Will Barton stepped up. He's looked good. Will Barton's looked real good the last that's why they're able to do it so easily. Will Barton's going to lose a lot of play to this guy. To answer your question, Slens, it's not a big three. It reminds me of what the kind of the Raptors did, where you wouldn't call Kawhi, Kyle, and Pascal a big three. It was more like Kawhi and everybody else. You know what I mean? So I look at the Denver team. It was just a balanced team. That's what it was. I look at Denver doing the same thing, where they have two guys. They have Nikola Jokic and they have Jamal Murray, And Jamal Murray is really way better in the playoffs than he is actually like in regular season. So that's actually a plus for them. And then you add Aaron Gordon as an extra offensive player. You have MPJ still there.
Yo,
So
this can't be real.
bad.
The Nets are trying to get. Oh man, they just
Drummond.
want everybody. No, they just want
trying to get-
everybody.
Who do they want to get?
They're trying to get Aldridge now. They're trying to get everybody, man.
That's what I was thinking. That
The Nets are
Of course,
just.
that's why I told you don't count him for sure to the Heat. Anything can happen. He could easily go to the Nets.
So what are we saying? Verdict. I'm saying Denver, bad deal. I'm saying Orlando, not that good deal. So I'm saying, I'll go B for Orlando in getting a good return, and C for Denver because they could have done better.
B for Denver and a B. I think it's B for both.
A minus. Wow.
see, that's not.
I think it's Aaron Gordon just adds scoring they didn't have, right?
They rate Aaron Gordon too much. I
don't think he's that good either. I agree with you, but he does score the ball, and he is athletic.
I think fantasy-wise, we're too critical because we just look at 9 cats. But when it comes to actual basketball, defensively, offensively, I don't think he contributes to winning basketball.
Fair.
Yeah, Slens. Let's talk about this guy right here, Evan Fournier. The Frenchman was emotional in his exit from Orlando. When he spoke, a lot of people were actually like, "Wow, such a nice guy, such a quiet guy." And what he said basically was, "Hey, if you guys don't know me, go look me up." Or Boston fans.
Sort of tweet.
Right, that was funny. And then he also almost pretty much was in tears. Talking to reporters on NBA.com, talking about his time in Orlando and how he's grown up playing in Orlando his whole NBA career, and it's been emotional for him leaving them right now. And it's sad for him. But what do you think about his career and him fitting in Boston?
I think Boston needed to make a move, man. Like they've had, I'd say, in my opinion, I think they've had a very underwhelming season, man. Very underwhelming. I think they needed this guy, man. Who did they get rid of? So it was
Jeff Teague in a second round.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I'll be honest. I don't think Jeff Teague has been a hit this season as well. Whenever I watch the Celtic game, he's been quite bad, man. So it makes sense to me that they're making these changes. And Evan Fournier is a good scorer as well.
Yeah, I'm just disappointed. Once again, getting back to my fantasy team, I have him, so I'm disappointed that he went and got traded. But hopefully, he does well in Boston. What do you say, Terrence?
He won't help you in fantasy, that's for sure. Now that's a bad fantasy situation. But you know what? I'm gonna say this with chat. Danny Ainge sucks. He's super overrated, in my opinion. He had an opportunity this offseason to move Gordon Hayward for Miles Turner. It was reported. It was wildly reported. Everybody was saying it, and he didn't do it. He said, "You know what? I don't need Miles Turner." Cool. You get a trade exception, and this is the deal you pull off. Listen, Fournier is a good player. He's a good player for the return. He's a good player, but the Boston Celtics have aspirations of being a contender, and I don't know if Fournier has now moved you in that direction, especially because, like Slens just said, they haven't had a good season. They've been underwhelming. Kemba's a shell of himself. Tatum and Brown kind of get in each other's way, but they're still good players, and it's good to have both of them on the same team. You just need to figure out how to make them work. With no big man presence, because they don't have one. They went and got Wagner, sure, cool, whatever. But like with no proper big man, like a Miles Turner or even Aaron Gordon, who was rumored to go there, and I didn't think it would have been a great deal for them either. He still would have been a better addition than Fournier, in my opinion. But because what they gave up and because what they need, the deal's still like a B+ deal for them. Because giving up Jeff Teague and 2 second-rounders to get Fournier is still addition by subtraction. Like you still got a way better player than you gave up. And 2 second-rounders mean nothing to Boston at this point in time. So my opinion, I don't love it, but I think it's to be completely objective, it's a B+ deal. And I'm not a big Boston fan, so it's hard for me not to be biased. If I'm gonna be honest, like Boston's one of those teams for me that I don't like.
Okay, next one. You take over for this one.
Oh, this one's big.
Yeah.
Woo! So we started with this one, and this was the one that kind of blew my mind. Can the Chicago Bulls make the playoffs, and can the Chicago Bulls be relevant? That is the question of this deal, because when they made this deal with the full intentions of now being considered a good team. Now, you both watch ball, meaning you both seen Vucevic and you both seen Markkanen play defense. I understand that it's a very offense-led league nowadays, but who are those two going to stop ever? Like who's like is looking at Vucevic and Markkanen and being like, I can't drive the ball on you. Like I can't drive on you. I'm not trying to sound like I'm
That's
trying to
actually
like
true.
you don't like I'm trying to be non-biased in a lot of like listen, like everybody like it's just white big men aren't the most athletic and they're not the best defenders other than Marcus Gasol, who was like one of the best defenders of all time. Vucevic, his feet are stuck to the ground and Markkanen same, yo. So like if I'm looking at you, it's a snack. But on the offensive end, Zach LaVine, Vucevic, Markkanen, damn, Pat Williams can defend, by the way, actually. He's a really good defender. But those three guys on offense, hey, man, maybe it's just we're just scoring more points than you. I think Kobe White's not good either, by the way. I think Kobe White's overrated as hell. So this deal is cool. I like deals like this. I'll say that. Orlando needed to blow it up, and the Bulls needed to start taking things serious because they keep being in the lottery. They keep drafting. They're not good at drafting. So they've been trading. They got Zach LaVine. They're as Chicago, right? It's not like the Raptors when we try to get players. It's a lot harder for us. Like Chicago, you want to go play there. So they traded for LaVine and now they traded for Vuce. That's some intent. I don't know, Sluns. What do you think? Do you think
the thing is, do you know what's interesting to me about Chicago though? Like I thought they would take the approach of Orlando, right, where it's just a rebuilding thing, yeah, and start quite young and fresh. But then they traded for Vucevic. I'm thinking, okay, so is that you saying you want to go into the play-ins? I don't know where I never know where Chicago really are, man. I just think they're always in the middle. Like, are they gonna try and go for the playoffs with Zach? Are they gonna bring another All-Star? And now this indicates to me they want to. But listen, if it doesn't work out for them, if they don't get into the play-ins, at least there's a lot of pressure on them now. If they don't,
if they don't get the play-ins, they gave up a 2021 first-round pick. Everybody needs to understand that they gave up next year's pick. They protected it top 4, so they protected themselves a bit from themselves. But like, let's say they get the 5th pick. That hurts because next year's draft is deep. And I would have expected them to blow it up. I agree with you on this. But I think what they had to do is take a look at themselves and be like, we just got Billy Donovan as a coach. We have LaVine for another 2 years. We cannot go back in the lottery is probably what they're thinking. So how's the one way we could potentially stop that? I don't like, in my opinion, that they decided to go for Vuce when there probably could have been other players maybe out there that they could have gotten with this package, I would think. Because I just don't think Vuce fits as well. I love Vucevic as a player. I think he's
so. What
great.
are we saying, people watching? I think because they got Vucevic, you're gonna give them an A rating or a B rating, no matter what, because they got an All-Star. Because they got an All-Star, you're gonna give them a high rating. But what did Orlando get back? Is it that good? In my opinion, they got a really good return. You got to give them an A also. So is this a win-win for both teams?
To B for the Bulls, it's an A for Orlando because you got 2 first-round picks for Vucevic. He's in his 30s. He's an All-Star. So 2 firsts for your All-Star and expiring contract and Otto Porter. That's a good return, especially if you're trying to blow it up. So you didn't want to get a player back that could help you win it all.
This one came out of nowhere, though. Legit came out of nowhere. There was no smoke to this.
None. I was chilling, and I'm like, Vucevic? What you mean Vucevic got traded? I thought who should have got Vucevic? Boston, yeah. That's who should have traded for Vuce. If they got Vucevic,
that would have been a big free.
That's a nasty team for a while.
But again, I said this in the beginning. I'm happy for Zach, man. I'm happy for Zach. He's just I feel like he's been carrying that team, man, This season especially, he's been carrying that team.
Yeah, but I don't think he was an all-star. If I'm
You don't think he was, Zach?
Fringe. And I'm biased because I truly believe Fred VanVleet got robbed. Like,
oh, is it?
Fred was better in my opinion. Oh, Bulls beat. Yep,
makes sense.
Yeah, I think Fred was better.
That's a lot, though.
That is what I call a good GM.
Wendell Carter, that's good. No, I didn't realize it got Wendell Carter Jr. too.
Wendell Carter, yeah.
No,
that's a good. That's actually.
They're building
Carter. And I have Wendell Carter in my fantasy team too, guys. I have 2 fantasy teams, so I have a lot of players. Now moving on to the next.
5, bro.
This one I want to talk about. This one, and this one we're not going to be singing about. This guy, he's had an emotional season, man. Emotional season. Think about it this way: the same day that he found out.
What did they give? Sorry, what was the deal? What was the rank that Orlando got?
Oh, I thought Orlando got a B, right?
A-. No, A- was it?
Okay.
One second. Let me double check that. I want to just talk about this guy quickly, and I'll go back to it. Basically the same day that TD hit a game winner for us was the same day that he found out that he was no longer going to be charged for the situation that he had in America. Now, if that is not an amazing day for you, I don't know what an amazing day is, because that guy he beat a case and he hit a game winner for his NBA team. Imagine that, and he wasn't going to be able to play if the NBA was continued in Canada. So luckily he stayed. Luckily the Raptors stayed in America to play, or else he wouldn't have actually got to play this season. The man was almost going to be unemployed this season if it wasn't for the situation with COVID. He's so lucky, and now he's going to Sacramento for a second round pick.
I think
you guys think it is.
I think it's a win-win for both sides. I think it's a win-win for both sides, where we're clearly cap dumping players, just getting rid of players for the sake of cap, and trying to get players, try to get as many assets as possible to make a big moves, maybe this year or next year. Right?
I think we can safely say, right, Sacramento and Houston are the 2 biggest losers in this today.
I don't know what they're doing. First of all, the Terrence Davis agenda on Twitter, I fucking love it. It comes out of nowhere. How do you have an agenda against a bench player? It makes no sense. But honestly, I love it.
The rumors were bad, though, right? Obviously, he didn't get convicted of it, and those rumors are bad. So if there's any truth to them, that's what people think is like, well, a lot of people think like we shipped him out too because we're like, we just don't want to deal with that. Honestly, watching the games this year, and I've caught most of them, almost every game, Nurse doesn't seem to trust him. He doesn't seem to trust Boucher. He definitely seemed to start getting annoyed with Matt Thomas, because Matt Thomas was brought in the team just to shoot, and this man wasn't shooting.
You have to expand, bro. Expand
your
game.
You had Terrence Davis, who was very erratic, and I don't think Nurse likes that. So I'm okay. I was happy when I heard about this. If you deep this, like, we traded Matt Thomas and Terrence Davis and got 2 second-round picks.
Does he get the song also? Does he get the song also? Does he also get a song?
No, he doesn't get the song. And Evan Fournier, who's a much better player than both those guys combined, garnered 2 second-round picks. So it's like, I got to give props to Masai here again.
I'm sorry, distracting me. Oh, man. You got to give props to Masai. I 100% agree. And, Slens, we'll just take this one and we'll move on. I think the Raptors get an A for this, because they just got rid of a player and got the same value for someone like Evan Fournier. Surely it has to be an A. If the market value for a player is a second-round pick when he was actually undrafted, we're up.
Terrence Davis was also undrafted?
Yeah, he was undrafted.
2 undrafted players, and we got 2 second-round picks. Huh?
Amazing, right? Okay, now moving on to the next guy. Who is it? What did they give us, by the way? What did they give us?
Yeah, I think it was a B. Yeah.
Yeah, B.
I just don't get, like, do you guys realize Sacramento, like you said it, Slens, they're the big losers. Like, they traded for DeLon, right?
Oh, did you hear about this? Wanamaker to Charlotte. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
He was with the Warriors.
Yeah, right? Charlotte got Alonzo replacement for cash. Who gives a shit?
No.
Okay. This one here, I actually care about this one. They basically said, you know what, LaMarcus Aldridge, peace out. We're gonna get your twin.
Yeah, but Chris is hurt.
No, but I think he's actually pretty good. It's just he's never been given a chance.
Yo, remember when Ibaka manhandled him in this game?
Yeah.
No, he was playing for
He
Cleveland.
fucked him up. He almost punched him. No.
It was Marquise Chris. Slens, you probably wouldn't have seen it because it was like against Cleveland, so nobody's watching that game except Raptors fans. This guy steps over Ibaka, whispers something in his ear after he dunked on him, or he says something to Ibaka. Ibaka pops up, looks at him, charges him, grabs him by the scruff.
I've seen this.
And he punched him. He punched him.
Yeah, he did punch him. He did. Did he not?
That was Lopez he punched. He ragdolled Chris, just dragged him and threw him up against the stage and was like, say something. Chris is just like,
okay, man. You don't fuck with Ibaka, man.
No, you know. Ibaka, he's about that life. I was at the game where he punched Robin Lopez. I was at that game. The crowd went crazy.
Yeah, no, Ibaka has had some interesting altercations.
Ibaka's a real one.
He's had
NBA players always need to be
pulled
apart.
Once he had Kerry Hilson, I'm like, yo, the man's a G. The man's a G.
Who's he with now? She's even finer, man. She's even sweeter.
Yeah. I think I've seen the picture of him.
Ibaka's on play, man. He was on every channel in Canada too.
Imagine being known for your fashion as an NBA player.
He's all over Canadian commercials and shit, just to model it and do it. He's a bunch of brands that are probably more Canadian centric. He was a star.
Me, he's looking at basketball wise, he's a big upgrade on Ivica, man. The Clippers, big upgrade for me. Starting wise, I love having him starting.
You guys took 2 players from us for nothing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, let me just show you guys. Let me show you guys the beef. This is what he did to Marquise Chris. He broke them up.
Fuck! Look at this, bro.
He broke them up. He was not
the guy.
Anyway, that day, it reminded me of Rasho Nesterovic versus KG. It was not a fair fight. It was not a fair fight. If you know, KG used to mess with the Raptors, and he used to
mess with every white boy in the league, though. I actually hated that. I was KG, he would go after the small white boys, like Calderon and shit. You're like, yo,
I think he ended Garbajosa's career.
I don't think he meant to do that, though. That was
nah, that's dangerous. Anyways, they gave it a B. Who cares? We keep it moving. We spoke about Marquise Chris too much. Now, Matt Thomas.
You guys talked about this as well.
Matt Thomas. I'm gonna talk about it. But first, let's just give him his moment of silence too. Not everyone gets a moment of silence, but
you romanticize all your players, man. Come on, man.
The Raptors players. Matt Thomas came in. He was supposed to be the next JJ Redick, the best thing since sliced bread. You know what? It never turned out for him. He didn't actually have the green light. He was given the green light, but he wouldn't take it.
He just didn't take it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He had all the time. He was supposed to be one of the best shooters. Percentage-wise, guess what? He's one of the best shooters in NBA history, percentage-wise. But he just doesn't shoot the ball enough. But yeah, let's talk about Matt Thomas. He got traded for another player getting traded for a second-round pick. They gave Jazz a B for that. Raptors got a B-. You know what? He might do good for the Jazz, but I don't know. What do you think?
I'm indifferent. I think what was starting to happen, and I was watching the games and I was noticing it, is he'd go on, he'd run off a bunch of screens, and then he would never actually take the shot, and then he'd get pulled, and it was just cool. He's a super bad defender, but the problem is it's a Golden State second rounder, so you just gotta hope Golden State stays bad, and we Masai finds gems all over the place. So for him, as long as he has the picks, cool.
Yeah. Masai Ujiri, Lowry package. He wasn't going to be sold short.
Yeah.
I know his value. JaVale McGee to Denver. Bro. Lens,
Good
what are you saying?
Good trade.
It's good. I think it's a good trade, man. It's a good trade. I think it's good trade for Cavs as well. I think they got a second rounder, right? Yeah, they got a second round pick.
It is a Hartenstein. He's not bad.
Unprotected.
Hartenstein at the end of the day, he's JaVale McGee, but a younger version maybe. Like, I'm not saying same position. Yeah, not the same position.
But I just think they got their second man behind Jokic now, man. Just when they need to.
You know what it is? It's good that they didn't let him go to another team in the West that can then use him to defend Jokic in the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He's a good defender, and it's something they don't really have, right? Like in the post, because Gordon's not a good defender.
What the hell is Sacramento doing? Bro, can I say one thing? I said to you after the first episode, if you remember that you came on, I said to you, yo, they have an absolute gem on their hands, and they need to make sure he starts every game. Why are they bringing this guy? I'm not even talking about De'Aaron Fox. I'm talking about Halliburton.
No, Halliburton, I know.
Why is Halliburton not getting all the PT? Why are they even going for Delon Wright?
So I read something that said basically this kind of replaced the fact that they wanted to get Dante DiVincenzo in the Bogdan Bogdanovic deal, the one that fell through. So this kind of like fills that gap. Then you went and got Terrence Davis. Like Halliburton, see, the reason why this is precarious is not because he's going to take minutes away from Halliburton, because Halliburton's still going to play.
He can play off the ball, can't he?
Like he's still going to play. He's still going to get 30+ minutes a game. There's no way they can't not give him minutes. That's the thing. They have to give him minutes.
He's just a backup PG, isn't he? Like, I don't know, right? That's what he's here for, right?
I just saw that Baz says he wants Cade. Huh? Yeah, no, we're not going to be that bad, bro. Like, unfortunately,
I wish we could get Cade, but yo, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. They gave it a B- for Pistons. Sacramento probably gets a bad mark just because they're Sacramento. Oh, they got a B+. Big up to Sacramento for that. I would never be that generous to Sacramento. Now, the final couple trades. PJ Tucker to Milwaukee. You know what?
We knew about this deal for a bit.
Yeah, that was.
It makes no sense. PJ Tucker is not this great player. All he is he's a utility piece.
I think he'll fit for Milwaukee though. They need a guy who can shoot, who can play down low, who can spell both Giannis and Brook alongside Portis. Portis isn't enough.
Both his stints in Toronto, I think, were shorter than his stints in Milwaukee, right? So we'll see. We'll see how long this one lasts. He usually
comes corner three specialist, man.
Bro, I remember he was the shortest center to ever play as many games at center in history. But what about Torrey Craig going to Phoenix? Apparently, that's a big deal.
Yeah, we'll see.
Is it?
It's not a big deal to me.
I don't know why Torrey Craig to Phoenix is such a big deal. Stephen A. Smith loves to talk about random things.
I mean, it's his job. He's got to find something.
Yeah, all I got to say is he better not take minutes away from Bobby Portis, another one of my fantasy guys.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. You're getting screwed on. It's not going well. I traded Bobby Portis.
What about Patrick O'Neal on Utah? Matt Thomas not taking minutes from him.
I traded O'Neal yesterday.
Trevor Ariza to Miami.
How old is he now? He's 35, right?
Bro, I remember this guy on the Lakers winning a title.
I don't know what he's doing right now. Like he's not even going to play in Miami. They just want to go Victor Oladipo. So you're Trevor Ariza. You're basically just ring chasing at this point, hoping that.
No, you're Trevor Ariza. You got paid to stay at home for Sacramento, I think, or OKC.
Oh yeah, OKC basically, and then Myers Leonard, who ends his career.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, Myers Leonard
ended his career. He's done.
Oh no, yeah, he's done. After what he did, no, he's done.
Yeah, you can't. The NBA and racial slurs, it's a wrap. Yeah, like it doesn't matter what you like, especially in the NBA, man. You're done.
Okay, so Clippers clear room for Cap by getting rid of this guy.
Yeah,
talk to me about him. Is he any good?
I've never seen him really play. He only played like 20 minutes last year.
Have you ever
I'll be honest, I don't think I've seen him. I don't think I have, honestly.
I've seen him play, but it's like he's only played.
That's from a Clippers fan. He's never seen him play.
I don't think I have. I'm trying to think. Who is this?
So that's that. And there's one more topic that we've left that we haven't spoken about, because we spoke about every trade, spoke about every player that's gone in and out. There's a couple things that we haven't spoken about. Kyle Lowry is one. right? That we haven't spoken about because Kyle Lowry was
Well,
not
I
moved.
talked about Kyle Lowry at nauseam.
No, we haven't spoken about Lonzo Ball not being moved, and we haven't spoken about the Washington Wizards not getting rid of Beal. So Beal,
They were never
in my
going to.
opinion, Beal, in my opinion, is the easy one because it was never going to happen. It was all beginning of the season speculation. We always knew that they were never going to get nothing in value for a Ball, and the fact that they were trying to trade him, they were going to have to get pennies on the dollar for Ball. Now let's go to Kyle Lowry.
Wait, one thing about Bill, did you guys see the tweet that he dropped the eye emoji, man?
No.
He dropped it in the middle of the, I think a couple of hours before the deadline. Man, just trying
He's just having fun.
Yeah, man.
Beal is like Josh Hart. Beal is like Josh Hart on social media.
Josh Hart's my guy, man, for obvious reasons.
I like Josh Hart. He's funny. Beal was never going to get moved, and he didn't ask for the trade. So the only way he gets moved is the same reason we didn't move to Kyle Lowry. It's like as if he comes out and says, I absolutely want to be moved. He won't get traded. And then with Kyle Lowry, because he never said he wanted to be traded, and because I'm going to watch more about, I haven't got to watch the Woj video about it, but I'm sure it's everything we already know. Teams weren't willing to give up enough. And Masai Ujiri's like, this is how much he's worth. You either pay up or we don't do the deal.
Why not? Why don't I just put up the tweet instead of just going around it? So Adrian Wojnarowski spoke about it. His specific words were, in making a trade for Kyle Lowry, teams had to take in consideration whether or not he would turn out to be a rental for a season, or if they would be able to meet his contract expectations and he'd stay as a free agent. This impacted how far teams were willing to go on him. Now, when he says that, what do you guys think? Is he talking about Philly?
Yeah, listen. The more I hear Cam speak about it when it comes to Philly, right? The way I see it is, if they were serious about being the Nets, right? Because we can all assume that's going to be the East Finals. I think Kyle Lowry would have made a big difference in that. He legit would be like a championship level, like if PG if you want him there. So for me, PG the Sixers would have made the most sense. They don't want to give up. They want to give up enough for him, so it's going to cost them in the end, I think. But listen, you guys benefit from it at the end of the day.
And I think the comment about not teams being afraid to hold on to him that is true, because the only team that Kyle Lowry's ever given his allegiance to is the Raptors. So he's basically saying, Raptors, you can trade me for whatever you want. He's telling the teams that are trading for him, either you commit to $50 million over 2 years or whatever he wants as an extension, or I will look somewhere else. Like, I'm not going to play myself. I will look for my money somewhere else in free agency. Neither Miami or Philly wanted to take the chance, I guess, which I think is dumb, because I think Philly, it would have been a no-brainer. I think without a doubt, you spend over the cap, you keep Kyle Lowry. It'd be expensive, but you do it. You're going to pay into luxury, but you do it. And you know he's going to stay there because it's his home. Miami, he was also interested in staying because, well, it's fucking Miami. Like, players go there and they like their time there. Why not? But teams were scared. They were scared of his contract.
He's a married man. He ain't going to Miami to say, welcome to Miami. No, that's not him.
But the thing is, it wasn't worth these teams taking the risk with how much we were asking if you couldn't keep him for sure. And that's another thing.
Besides Miami.
So here's the tweet. Here's the tweet. It's pretty straightforward, black and white. If you're willing to do a trade for the Raptors, you'd have to get guarantees from Kyle Lowry. I don't think anyone had time to speak to Kyle Lowry because this whole situation, Philly has been tiptoeing around it the whole season. And Miami came out of nowhere last minute, in my opinion. And then the rest of the teams that were talking about Lakers, it's just media nonsense. Lakers were never really serious about Kyle Lowry. None of these other teams were never really serious except for the Clippers, but the Clippers don't have anything to offer us because they blew their load on the OKC deal.
Except Zubac, maybe, but
we ain't doing Kyle Lowry for Zubac. Come on.
No, I get that. I'm saying.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Masai Ujiri is not Rob Babcock. He's not going to get ripped off like Vince Carter deal. Come on.
It's fair.
You know the Miami deal. What would it consist of other than Hero?
It would have consisted of Kelly Olynyk,
Precious,
Hero,
Precious.
And they were asking
as well.
I think
Yeah.
that we
Yeah,
were.
we wanted
were.
Precious.
But I think we would have said, cool, you don't have to send Precious. And then we would have taken Dunn probably, or none for salary.
Well,
Nah,
how would
we
you guys?
don't.
How would you guys feel about that one though? If it did go through,
If it
If we
were,
got Tyler
they
Hero?
wanted to give us just Precious and none by itself.
No, and Duncan Robinson.
We ain't taking Duncan Robertson, bro. We
didn't
got
want Duncan Robinson.
yeah. We don't need a
So
guy who's
that's
just
the thing. The deals weren't good enough. They just weren't. They weren't good enough. And size
man said it's pronounced Zubast.
Zubast.
Zubas.
Wait,
I call it
we haven't talked about something, Egal. We haven't talked about the Lakers.
Lakers aren't doing
do you guys-
nothing. Their buyout market. They don't have nothing,
They're going to sign Drummond.
bro.
That's what I'm thinking. Where's Drummond gonna end up? Yeah.
They are literally in a hyperbolic chamber trying to drop down as much as they can in the playoff ranks to find a way mathematically to be in a good seeding. That's what I think they're doing.
They're gonna do what the Lakers do in every big team come buyout time, which I kind of hate the buyout market in the NBA. I'm not gonna lie, it drives me a bit nuts that teams can legitimately just sit and wait for a good veteran to get bought out. It wouldn't be good for Drummond's career if I'm Drummond and I got bought out. I go to New York personally, so I can put up big numbers and I know they're going to pay me and they're going to keep me for years because that's what New York does. They don't understand that Drummond's really not a winning center. But for the Lakers, if Drummond goes to the Lakers and you slide Anthony Davis to the power forward, which he prefers to play, he actually doesn't like playing center. It's a known thing about him. You put Drummond in the middle just to swallow up rebounds, be a big block presence in there. You have Anthony Davis to hide his weaknesses on actually defending because Drummond doesn't know how to actually defend. You have LeBron James at the 3. How big that's like 6'11", 7'1", 7'1" across your front 3. And then cool, who cares who's holding the ball? Like Dennis Schroeder, I don't know, just Alex Caruso, who else is there? Like they don't have any.
They don't have that this season. So
You guys watch. Can I say one thing? Have you guys watched Dragon Ball Z when you were kids?
Of course.
Okay, do you guys remember how the hyperbolic chamber looked and everything in Dragon Ball Z? This man literally, they spent $1 billion on something similar to a hyperbolic chamber. LeBron is literally chilling. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, this is a mad thing. Like, this guy, him and Anthony Davis are sitting back, relaxing in the hyperbolic chamber for the next couple months. No one has to worry.
Time's moving way faster in there for them. I know. I get the analogy.
Where are they going to end up? Like third, fourth? Do you guys think?
Fourth, probably third or fourth. Because Utah's still pretty far up there, right?
Yeah.
And then you have Denver's up there. I haven't looked.
By the way, this is not photoshopped. Eh? It's not photoshopped. You do.
No, I can tell it's an actual thing. Yeah.
This is a real photo. Like the man literally.
Oh, no, but you know, on to Cam's point, man. They're missing size without Dwight and JaVale, so I think Drummond just makes sense.
It makes sense. Oh well, see, know what's crazy? I just realized Phoenix is in second.
Yeah.
What?
Comfortably as well, right? No.
Comfortably. Well, not comfortably. The Clippers are right there with them, and so are the Lakers. But like,
that's Chris Paul for you, man. That's Chris Paul for you.
Yeah, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. But before we wrap it up, is there anything that you would say? Who's the biggest winners and losers?
I think Miami, man. I don't know what you
Miami's
guys
the
think.
biggest winners. Yeah. Because they didn't have to give up anything. I don't think Victor Oladipo's good. I'll repeat that. I don't think he's great. Not good. He's good. He's not great. But they didn't have to give up anything to get him. And then Denver probably. Because I don't think they gave up a lot to get Gordon either, and they're kind of cap strapped anyway. So they had to. This is the kind of move that they needed to make. Boston's a big loser in my opinion. Philly, big loser in my opinion. Because
of the cow. You can say Toronto if you want, man. Go on, man. I know you want to say it.
Toronto's they're a winner in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. I don't disagree. Yeah, I don't disagree.
You're one of the bigger winners of they got 2 picks and they got a good young talent. That's cool. It's
as you said, you know, the whole Norman Powell thing. I just think, you know what, I'm pretty sure he's a big presence in the locker room as well. Like he's quite loved around there. So I guess it's just a loss of that character.
It does. It sucks. You're losing your championship squad. You're losing a lot of those guys. You're losing that. Like I get it. That does suck. But Cycles happen. As long as you handle the cycle right, you don't go into the basement. So that's what we're trying to do. Trying to avoid being a basement dwelling team like the Detroit Pistons, the Magic, the Wizards. We don't want to be there.
Yeah.
Have one bad year.
And then run it back. Anyways, guys, honestly, we're not winning a title anytime soon, though, unless we get a top 5 player. Or you know what? We could get Cade. We could get Cade somehow. You seen the Photoshop photos of him on the Raptors? He looked beautiful. But yeah, guys, we had Photoshop moments of Giannis too. If you forgot about that.
Nothing compared to the Miami Photoshop, bro. The Miami Photoshop. They Photoshop everyone on fucking Miami shirts. The fans, man.
Oh, Pascal Siakam. Is he a nice guy fighting with Nick Nurse? What the hell's going on?
It is what it is. I never look into that shit, man.
These things happen, man. They happen.
They happen, and it means absolutely nothing. Like,
yeah, literally.
You can't stress. You got to just be like, it is what it is, in my opinion. Like, it doesn't kill a team. We've heard of worse shit happening on teams.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, you already know what it is. You can catch Slens on Slens Talk on YouTube and check them out on Twitter also. You got Cam's right there. Cam is at CLow77. You already know what it is. And you guys can catch me at EGTV on my YouTube channel, which you're already watching, of course, and my Twitter at the Kitty G. So check it out. And you know what? No Arsenal slander, people. Let's get